Hey guys, welcome to an all new episode of HBFIT TV. We are here today with Camilla from Westbourne, which is one of my favorite restaurants in New York. Honestly, we've done an episode together before where I literally sampled all of the things from your restaurant.
Almost a year ago.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I know.
Whoa, time flies. So much so that today we're actually demoing almond cookies from my book, which is very surreal. And I'm excited for you to try them. And then we're gonna pair them with the La Brea fruit salad from Westbourne. Do you want to tell us a little?
Yeah, so the La Brea fruit salad is a relatively new dish. You know, we have an all-day menu, as you very well know. Most people have it for breakfast, but the truth is I really love it to entertain for dessert. It's sort of like get your hands in there, get messy, share, and I think they're gonna pair perfectly with your cookies. So
Yay.
a little dip and mix, so super excited.
Okay, perfect. So let's just jump right into it. These are super easy. I kind of call them the world's easiest almond cookie. Okay, so I'm gonna just pour this in here. So
what do we have?
This is almond flour. And I'm just gonna add half a teaspoon of baking powder.
Okay, so we've got some baking powder.
Baking powder, which I always just feel like no matter what I'm making, if I'm adding baking powder and baking soda, it's gonna rise. like it's not gonna die, you know? Pro tip. So we're gonna add our cooled simple syrup that has the nice fragrancy of rosemary.
So basically make regular simple syrup, put some sprigs of rosemary, let it steep, get that really fresh aroma. It's really nice for the holidays.
I mean,
say rosemary or thyme.
You're natural, by the way. This is why
I'm just really into your cookies. Ooh. So it's definitely still, you can see it's still liquid, but you know, cooled. It's not gonna clump, and you definitely don't want it dried or toffee-like.
Totally, and it's gonna like really kind of form into a dough.
Really quickly.
And then I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
Oh yeah.
And I'm also gonna add the zest of an orange. And that's, again, the orange, the rosemary, the vanilla, like it's super holiday. So this product is a product from Goodful, which is a channel from BuzzFeed. And they did a collab with Macy's. So that's why this is so clever, because BuzzFeed are just like, they're the cleverest people on the planet.
They are.
Take this off.
So I always say, I feel like, you know, yes, rosemary and orange, and you can always play a little bit with that. So Cara oranges have a little bit of a different flavor from a regular navel orange. You could do blood orange if you want something a little bit with a bitterness.
Yep.
So I always like to sort of, you know, you always try it once the right way, and then, you know, have some fun and play with it.
Same goes with the simple syrup and the rosemary. Like you could do thyme,
sage
you could do sage, exactly. And it's kind of just playing around with those flavors. And that's really a lot about what I talk about in the book. It's like, yes, this is a recipe, but the whole point is for you to figure out your own palate and your own taste buds and, you know, do what you like. Okay, so this is kind of what the dough looks like. And then we're just...
Should we show? It's almost like wet sand a little bit.
It is a little bit like wet sand.
You know, little clumps. Definitely has that cookie dough look and feel. Yeah.
I mean, again, there's no eggs in this recipe, so it's like not super like dough, like like a chocolate chip cookie would normally like look and feel like.
So in baking, we call it similar to a pâte sablé. So it's
Pardon
sort
me?
of, so pâte sablé is a type of dough. It's on the drier side, so it looks like wet sand.
Got it.
Sablé means sandy.
Sablé. Did you go to cooking school?
I did, here in Soho,
Oh,
French
wow.
Culinary Institute.
That's cool. I did not.
I always find the key with cookies too is, despite I think some popular belief, I like to not, you don't want to knead it too much because then it'll start to get really dense. So I think people get really obsessed with, you know, the perfect cookie dough ball, but really the less you sort of form and touch it, the
better it is.
The fluffier it's going to be.
And then I kind of just like push it down a little bit. You know, I love a biscuit. I love a shortbread. And those were kind of the things when I first kind of went on this quest of the journey of like health and trying to like figure out what was like good for me and not good for me and whatever. Like I very quickly understood that tons of flour and butter and those things kind of really showed up on my face specifically.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like went through a whole moment of having pretty bad skin, and it had a lot to do with what I was eating. So I basically wanted to make these cookies as an alternative to the things that we, like the comfort foods that we know and love, like a biscuit, like a shortbread. So as you guys know, this is not my kitchen, even though I wish it was. This is a place called Village Marketing, which we've been so lucky to shoot here this year, which is awesome, and we love them.
So last step before we pop them in the oven.
We are going to add some blanched almond slivers on top of our cookies, so they like look cute and festive. And this like just makes like a really nice, easy dessert. Oh, this is perfect.
Beautiful.
Okay, great.
So before. Voila. So while those cook, we'll prep our second part.
Okay, great. So I think this is actually one of the only things that I haven't had on the menu.
Ah, well, now you will.
Yeah.
Here, grab the knife, we'll do them together.
Okay. Do we need this anyway?
Yeah, we'll bring them both over. Why not? So the key here is, I think the two constants, and similar to how you were saying you like to cook, I like to sort of have buckets of this is what we're working with, but play with what's fresh at the green market, what I'm feeling like. Sometimes you have guests over and they have aversion. So the key here is a savory tahini yogurt with a little bit of honey. That's the base. Any sort of fresh fruit, you can do fresh or cooked fruit. I like fresh right now. Depends what's sort of in season and looking good. So the base, I've made it before just so you can see what the finished product is, but I'll give you a little demo on it. So you can use fresh Greek yogurt. I personally love White Mustache. It's made by an amazing woman here in New York.
Love that brand.
The best yogurt in the world. You can also use labna, which has a little bit more of a savoriness. I always say it's sort of like a softer feta, like a spreadable feta. So it has a little bit of that sourness to it. Again, sort of depends on your flavor profile. I like using a little bit of labna just because, again, a little bit of that savory sweet.
Right.
So we've got, we're gonna do half and half.
Okay.
Half labna, half tahini. I personally love Seed & Mill's tahini. Again, another amazing female-run business here in New York.
Is this enough?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So we'll do half and half. Just really all natural, just sesame seeds, really delicious. So I do half tahini, half the yogurt.
Should I just pour? What do you want to do?
Yeah, pour.
Okay.
It's pretty pourable, as you can see. Some tahinis are thicker. That's perfect. I tend to like it on the looser side. Again, Seed & Mill has amazing products.
This texture is amazing.
Right? Super smooth. So we use their otherwise would be wasted halva in our center chia at the restaurant. I've got a fresh one for you. So if you just swirl that, mix it, super easy.
The consistency of both of these is amazing, by the way.
Just a little honey while you're doing it. Yeah, it just makes for really, it ends up almost having kind of a mousse texture. Just a little bit of honey just to taste. And again, any type of honey, that you want. I like farmer's market honey, obviously, but sort of anything you'd like. Again, if you want a little bit of a variation, Mike's Hot Honey, if you want something with a little bit of a kick, is again a nice variation to add.
I love a hot honey. Anything besides a manuka. Right?
Exactly.
Because I feel like people are like, oh my God, manuka honey. But it's like, that's like a medicinal honey that you take if you have like a cough or sore throat or.
And I wouldn't do a honey that's too thick because it'll really clump it together. So you want something that's right. So ends up looking, I think, sort of like a dessert mousse.
Yes.
But to your point, a little bit of a healthier version. So that's our base. We'll set it aside.
Oh, it's delish.
Right? A little savory sweet. It's got kind of an interesting kick.
Oh my God. That's really good.
So now we're going to get you'll pick any herbs that you want. I've got some Thai basil, some fresh mint, some fennel fronds. I sort of say, again, go crazy. I like it in this field. You might want to put parsley if you really want a little bit of a more savory kick.
Okay,
but
sure.
I like this mix because you get the aroma from the fennel, the basil has a little bit of that sourness, and mint obviously is a more traditional dessert herb.
Right.
So again, that play on savory sweet. And then we make some amazing sesame fennel brittle at the restaurant. And then we chop it up just as a little bit of a garnish. But I would say anything...
Like crack. It's so good.
You know, I would say you can make your own brittle at home. You can buy it. You can use even just any sort of candied nuts and chop it up. Exactly. Get a little preview. So, you know, again, a way to make it at home is really simple. Get some candy, especially around the holiday time. There's amazing candied nuts at the supermarket, and you just chop it up and you make almost, you know, like a little dust.
Love it.
Some people like them pretty finely done, like sand. I kind of like a little bit of the crunch.
Me too. I love a crunch.
So then I would say go to your farmer's market, find what's fresh and what's in season. We have a little bit of a mix here, so we'll do a little bit of everything. I know we were talking about persimmons before.
Yes.
I think persimmons, I'm going to come out and say, I think they're sort of the fruit of 2019. I think they're really under the radar. They're a little bit intimidating to most home cooks, I think, and really they're amazing. It's just knowing when they're ripe. So
yeah, can you tell us about that? Because I was going to say, like, I've had persimmons and I usually use them as a decor because they're never ripe when I have them, and I'm impatient and I don't want to wait another 3 weeks for them to like really ripen. So tell us how to look for like
two things.
The real deal.
Put them in a brown bag with an avocado if you need them to ripen faster. Avocados have a chemical that they release that ripens other fruits, which is why if you ever put it with your other fruits, a lot of times like your banana will go bad in a day.
Oh my gosh.
And mixed with a brown paper bag.
Pro tip.
So also I'm the same, not that patient, so I'm always about the hack.
Right, okay.
So you can see, so this one's a little bit firmer, almost like an apricot.
Yeah.
And what you really want is super soft. You want it soft almost the way that you want an avocado to be soft.
Like it feels like it's almost blistered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is funny because I think that's why people, you know, feel they're hard to work with, because if you really felt that, you'd think it was bad. You know, you'd probably leave it and go, oh no, that's not the ripe one, but really it is.
Okay, but question for you. So this one is the ripe one.
And it gets darker in color.
And it gets darker in the color on the top, but on the bottom, it looks like it's more firm, and actually it has like this one here looks like it's riper on the bottom.
Yeah, but then you can feel them and you can see this one's just much softer.
Okay, so don't be fooled by the color.
Yeah, you really got to do, you know, you got to do a full baseball squeeze.
Right,
you know?
Okay.
So we normally would use a peeler, but you can do it any which way. Basically take the top off. So you'll see similar, I always say it's sort of a cross between an apricot and an apple. You can see that it has sort of a center core. It's not that you can't eat that, but it doesn't taste as good the way same with an apple.
Right.
So I like to cut it into basically quarters. Cut the core down a bit, so you don't really want to eat that part.
Right.
And then you basically don't want the skin. Again, you can eat the skin, but
it leaves honestly a very strange texture in your mouth.
Almost like astringent.
Yeah, and the texture also, it feels like leaves a weird film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's almost not,
like an underripe peach.
Yes.
It really sort of sucks the moisture out of your mouth. It feels like
it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is. So Concord grapes, if you're familiar with Concord grapes, basically taste like wine, which is why people love them.
Got it.
But Concord grapes have seeds, and Concord grapes have been crossbred.
Okay.
So no seeds, but the flavor of that wine body that people love. They're one of my favorites. They also just look so beautiful.
They are very beautiful. That's actually a good note. I want to get those for holiday this week.
Tom Core. So figs, again, I like just to quarter them. And again, figs are similar too. I mean, if they're not ripe, they're really just not going to have much flavor.
Yeah.
They really need to develop to get that punch. And again, I think they just look so beautiful.
They
you kind of want them in a similar size, quarter them.
They are so beautiful. Figs are one of my favorite fruits, especially when they're super ripe and juicy. It's like, and I find the inside to just look so beautiful.
I love tiger figs, the ones that are sort of yellow and striped on the outside.
I've never seen one.
They're spectacularly beautiful. This year, unfortunately, we had a very short season with them.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's the tough part if you're someone who really sort of needs to be consistent all the time. I like the challenge of things sort of going in and out of season.
Sure, yeah, because then you get to like play, it's variety.
Yeah. Get to be creative. You are a pro.
I mean,
see, look. Now they don't just have to be decoration.
Right. Now I'm like, feel like I'm getting in there.
So similar, so we've got a blood orange, we've got a grapefruit. Similar way, I like to cut off both ends first. Oh, this is a regular one.
Which one?
Oh no, it's just the light colored. Oh, look how funny.
Oh, wow.
So it looks regular on that side, blood orange on the other side. So this is the way I like to cut citrus personally. So you cut each end so that it's really stable. You just cut the skin off.
Well, that's really, I've never done that.
We're ready.
Okay, I'm gonna take these out of the oven. Oh, that looks so pretty. Wait, it's like spotted.
Yeah. This one's interesting. It's got a little bit of a different color. Okay.
Should I leave them in for one more minute just because?
Yeah. Why not? So citrus, you know, you have it skinless. Almost looks like a little football. So again, I sort of like to cut it in half and, you know, again, irregular shapes similar to the persimmon makes for something, you know, to me they kind of look like little jewels.
They literally do. This one is so, this is the most beautiful little orange I've ever seen.
Right? I know.
It's like spotted and multicolored and it's almost like an ombre.
I know, this blood orange is pretty interesting. Normally they're darker.
Okay.
All right, so now we're pretty ready. I think they're gonna go perfectly together.
Okay,
so
fab.
should we plate it up?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So I'm just really excited to plate with Camilla because honestly, I just feel like everything at Westbourne looks so beautiful. And you know, I have a certain aesthetic that I'm like, but I'm always trying to learn and do something cool and make it like, I think presentation is so much about wanting to consume great food is like how it looks and how it makes you feel. Like when I see pretty food, I feel so excited to eat it. Is that like?
I could not agree more. And I think especially with entertaining, something that's so simple.
Yeah.
You know, like even putting, you know, the almonds as a garnish, it just makes it feel that extra step special.
Right.
Steeping the, you know, the sugar in an herb. It just takes it to that next level and creates a sense of surprise. I think, you know, we dine out and we go to people's homes for an experience. We want to discover something, so.
I couldn't agree more. See, normally you would do this on parchment paper and it'd be much easier to come off than foil, I find.
I agree. Parchment for everything baking, I think.
For everything.
It's funny because it was very old school. Like I remember growing up and everything was on foil, and I feel like now we realize the joys of parchment.
Seriously, I know we made cauliflower pizzas last night and we put them on foil because we didn't have parchment and it was so hard to get off.
As we said, the base is the tahini honey yogurt or labna. I sort of like to start, you know, you put a little mound however you want.
See, okay, can I just say that this is really exciting to me because I feel like so many people don't just like put the cream or whatever straight on the board. You know? Yeah.
On the side?
That they would like leave it in the cup or like, you know, like people are scared to just like put it on there,
Have
you know?
no fear. Well, you'll see. I think it's going to taste really well with the cookies dipped in. So to me, I find either like a, you know, you sort of spread it around into a little nook.
Pretty.
Nothing crazy.
Okay.
Pretty easy. All right, so we'll grab our fruits.
Doable.
You know, always start with the one that's the biggest first and is going to sort of set the stage. And again, I think that the Tom Cord grapes just have such a pretty look.
This is already looking so pretty. I'm like so excited.
You know, and you kind of pair them all around.
Yeah.
Pull some off the vine, have some fun.
Cute.
So you get that set, and then now let's put our cut fruit I like to sort of switch off every couple.
Okay.
Yeah. And similar to making Hannah's cookies, hands are always the best tool. It's the
Seriously.
best kitchen tool you could ever have, I think. I would say no man left behind, so.
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier. You know, if you've got some extras, use it for garnish. Don't be afraid.
No man left behind.
Slice these real quick.
Wait,
So-
this platter looks gorgeous.
Last step is going to be our final garnish.
Of the herbs and the brittle.
Okay, so get this out of the way.
Guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing here?
All right, so first things first, drizzle with olive oil.
Oh.
My favorite that we sell in the restaurant
I've never
is
seen this.
Grove 45. Again, you'll see my theme. Two women born in 1945 were widowed and decided to buy an olive orchard in Northern California.
What?
And they make some of the world's best olive oil. And
Wow.
frankly, a lot of chefs, which I understand why, really prefer Italian. And I think it's one of the few California olive oils that really, passes that mark.
And you're a big California girl.
Yes.
So hence, it's like local for you.
Yeah. Well, and I think having a really high quality olive oil, I really keep it at home for
Right.
everything.
Sure.
I have about 3 that I rotate for different things. I use it on finishing, as I said, ice cream. I put it on breakfast. Truly anything that could take olive oil, I put it on. Different ones for different flavor profiles. So just kind of give it a little bit of a drizzle.
So this is also a good one. You put your thumb over it and it stops it from like kind of pouring out as a large pour and kind of gives that thin drizzle. Ooh, we're really drizzling.
I am a drizzler.
Wow.
All right, and so then we do our little sesame fennel brittle crumble.
Okay, wait, this I actually need to get my phone out for and videotape you putting the crumble on. Bear with me.
I really have to say the cookies pair so perfectly with this.
Let's see it.
All right. Just
Oh,
gonna do
yes.
a little bit.
To this.
Crumble makes everything better.
Yum.
And it goes really well, I think, again, with the almonds on pairs perfectly with the almonds on the cookies. And so last step, you kind of pick whatever herbs, fit your fancy.
And I like also how you're not being fussy about your herbs and like you haven't pre-chopped them. Like, we can really just use our hands and yeah.
I'm not a pre-chop herb kind of person.
So good.
So those are the fennel fronds. So we use pickled fennel in one of our dishes called the trails, and then we use the fronds on this. So we're a zero waste restaurant, as you remember from last time.
Yes, of course.
So again, whatever you're cooking with, whatever you're using, we really try and use top to bottom everything, whether that's decor, or in a sauce or as a garnish.
Which is so nice because that's also not an initiative that a lot of people care about, especially in New York.
So to me, I agree with you. I don't like chopping herbs. To me, loses a little bit of the integrity and the fragrance. If you're in a sauce or whatever, a chutney, fine, or a salsa. But
Right.
I like when you're really using it as a garnish. Like, I want to see the leaf. I want to feel like I'm in nature.
Yeah.
I think it gives it a nice pull and creates an interesting texture. So
This was so easy to do. I really feel like I can recreate this for having like my family,
Christmas.
my in-laws at Christmas. Yeah, this is so beautiful.
there we go.
I mean,
Voila.
I'm really proud of us.
Okay, now we have to try the cookie in the yogurt. 'Cause
Okay.
That's what I've been dying to do.
Great. Can't wait either.
And again, to me, the yogurt serves as, a lot of people do cookies and cream, and it's a nice way to have something that's a little bit of a healthier version than creme fraiche or cream.
Wow. Wow. These are really good.
I think I'm going to make your cookies for the holidays.
This is a great hair. Oh my God, I'm so proud of us.
And it looks beautiful, and
It really does.
people can pick up everything on the plate and eat it. Gets everyone communal and digging in. I feel like that's what you want the holidays to be about. I think that's what home entertaining is all about. And as we talked about originally, to me, having people over, the key is getting them part of it. Get people helping you, help them help prep. I think it's so much more fun to go over to someone's house and be part of the meal that you're eating, not just having it,
Couldn't agree more.
coming right out of the oven.
Totally, and like, it's always an icebreaker too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, people have traveled, like, maybe you haven't seen them in a while. Like, just getting all hands on deck is a real great icebreaker and just makes everyone kind of feel like they're a part of it and useful.
Exactly. Experiential.
Well, guys, I hope you like this episode of HBFIT TV. I hope you make this recipe and let us know if you try it, if you like this episode, if you have questions or anything. But thank you so much
This was
for
so
doing
fun.
this. This is so
glad
cute.
to do it again. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.